Good evening, everyone. Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Chen joining you for this edition of Nate at 8. Coming up, the warming trend continues. If you like the way the temperatures are going, we're still going in that direction as we go into Thursday. But a cold front passage delivers a cool down, at least briefly, on Friday. Temperatures pick back up for the weekend, and it's a pretty warm pattern for this time of the year, continuing as we even look ahead into Christmas Day. Doesn't fare well for our white Christmas chances. There we go, into next week. But nonetheless, if you haven't liked the cold, it's a welcoming, warmer pattern in place here over the next even couple of weeks, likely at least going into the second half of this month. With that cool down on Friday, that cold front passage will likely be looking at some windy conditions on Friday as well. So something else we're going to be watching for as we go into the end of this week. Our current temperatures across the area into the 30s, and we're going to notice these temperatures. They can initially drop here early on tonight, but it's not much cooling at all. And we're going to be fairly steady. In fact, likely even warming for the second half of the night. So we can notice tonight temperatures initially drop closer to 30, upper 20s, and then we're climbing from there back into the 30s by tomorrow morning, and then 40s likely tomorrow afternoon. And by Thursday, our warmest day this week, warmest day since even before Thanksgiving, with those high temperatures into the 50s on Thursday. A cool down then going into Friday. And that's a situation where temperatures are just likely dropping throughout the day. So our high can be in the morning, and then temperatures can cool in the 20s in the afternoon. And then we'll climb back in the 40s, though, for this weekend. So we have a shot of cold air behind that cold front, but it doesn't last. We'll likely see that shot of cold air not being reinforced. So temperatures will climb back in the 40s right past Friday, likely by the time the weekend arrives. But certainly a warm day on Thursday for this time of the year. And again, the warmest day for us in about 3 weeks. And in fact, it'd be a little over 3 weeks at that point by the time Thursday arrives. That's how long it's been since we've dealt with highs 50 plus here. The warmest high has been low 40s so far for this month. And we're rivaling that for tomorrow. We're getting back in that range. And then likely, of course, surpassing that warmest day coming up in about a little over 3 weeks, arriving by Thursday. So our long range forecast, as you can see, it's just a sea of red. There's good odds for some above normal temperatures for much, not just the Ohio Valley. This is much of the continental United States as we go throughout the next 6 to 10, even 8 to 14 days. The warmth can ease up some as we look a little further out, 3 to 4 week range. So as we do look closer to the end of the month and beginning of January, we can start to see that cooler weather arrive. But at least here near term, we have this brief period, at least, a week or two, a period here where we're noticing some above normal temperatures overall into our pattern. And just like Friday, we can have some cold days in the mix, but a lot of more warm temperatures than cold for this time of the year ahead. And this does extend even through Christmas Day. So if Frosty is looking sad, the white Christmas chances are not good. It's unfortunate. This warm pattern's arriving too early to maintain the snow cover that we have in place, and it's sticking around too long to see some more snow arrive and accumulate, I think, before Christmas Day arrives. It's just a very unfortunate timing in both ways with this flip in this pattern arriving even, a little before a week before Christmas. Unfortunate. And yes, here over the next couple of days that we are going to end up seeing we're melting a lot of this snow. What does remain, a lot of it's going to get ate up then by the rain that we'll have coming our way, the cold front passage on Thursday. And once we get past Thursday, likely a lot more green. That's for sure. Yeah, we're already melting. We melted some today, but we'll melt a lot more the next couple of days. And especially once we get to that Thursday time frame with temperatures are in the 50s, and we're noticing those the rain start to break out. And even these overnight lows is something else to know. Anytime you deal with overnight lows, which can stay above freezing for a good portion of the night, which one of those nights can be tonight, that also really eats up that snow as well. So a lot of factors going into eating up our snow. We got a lot of it across the area this weekend, but we'll notice even before this coming weekend that it's likely gone due to multiple factors coming our way. And there's some snow, I think, in the forecast is over the next week. It's just not much. So I think we can have some snow, but how much accumulation It doesn't look like much, especially what's coming our way as we go through the weekend. I think we can spot a little bit of snow. It's just very little, possibly nothing when it comes to accumulation. So we jump into futurecast and we'll touch on that precipitation. So nothing for tomorrow, more clouds than sun. Difference with respect to today. Temperatures again to continue their warming trend. More cloud cover tomorrow, but stay dry. High temperatures topping off into just in the 40s. From there, we're climbing all the way into the 50s. Then by Thursday, we can start off with some sunshine, at least initially. Then the clouds will spill in as the sun does set. I do think it's possible that we can spot some rain before the sun sets, but it's very late into the day on Thursday. And certainly the core of rain with this cold front passage is more in line with Thursday night. So we can see some showers arriving before the sun sets on Thursday in the evening hours. From there, we'll notice the rain pick up. The bulk of it falls overnight, and we'll see, the rain, which could be heavy at times, and even could get some pretty gusty winds within this cold front passage as well. Something else to watch for is that as this does pass early Friday morning, is some gusty winds with this. This is something to watch for. We're not seeing a really severe weather threat. It's just the fact that we could have some just gusty winds within these showers as they do move through the area. Maybe a rumble of thunder. I think that is possible as well. But severe thunderstorms not anticipated, but more of just some gusty winds, possibly exceeding 40 miles per hour, maybe up to 50 with this moving through. Some rumbles of thunder, some pockets of heavier rain. That's more of what we're looking at when this moves through overnight Thursday into Friday morning. Now, notice on the tail end of this is when we can, looking ahead into Friday morning, spot a little bit of snow on the tail end of this. So we'll go back and advance forward this. Notice that could spot just a little bit there. We're going to Friday morning, a little bit of snow on the tail end of this, some snow showers possible throughout Friday, and temperatures continue to drop. So a good reflection of that. Notice that in Futurecast, there's a look at 37 in Philadelphia, 39 Cambridge, then 31 Columbus, and 30 Mansfield. So we'll get into a case Friday morning where the temperatures, they're falling below that freezing mark. So as these temperatures are dropping below freezing, the bigger concern for Friday is not snow accumulation. It's just going to simply be some areas of ice developing on roads as temperatures are dropping. The water that lingers on roads can freeze if left untreated. That's more of the thing to watch for as we go throughout Friday. When it comes to impacts with road conditions, that would be it. I think it's worth monitoring for Friday morning's commute and even throughout the day Friday, just in general. Some slick spots are possible, worth using some caution, especially initially there when temperatures are dropping. I'm sure crews are going to be getting out and laying some salt down on roads, and with the fact that we have the treatment on the roads, may not be really an issue by the afternoon commute, but there can be that window of time between the transition from rain to some snow showers as temperatures are dropping below freezing, that our crews are initially getting out and treating the roads, that we could start to see some areas of ice develop before crews get to a given location. That's, I think, really the time period to watch for on Friday is for the morning commute, but especially shortly after that, the latter part of the morning as well on Friday. When it comes to the potential for any slick roads, again, snow accumulation, I don't really see much there. It's possible that we end up with nothing. If we do see something, it's likely just within a coating to an inch, but I think a lot of us, it's even on the order of little or none. I just don't see too much when it comes to accumulation on Friday. It's something we'll, of course, continue to monitor, but I think the bigger concern and wintry impacts on that side of it is just simply going to be the fact that we can deal with some areas of ice. Rainfall amounts look to be, I'd say, about 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch, right around that range. With that rainfall, it can be heavy at times, some rumbles of thunder, some gusty winds. That's what to watch for into Friday. Winds in general will likely be, gusty as we go through Friday. Wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. And with that frontal passage, again, with that itself, maybe some higher winds within those showers or any thunderstorms that could exceed 40, maybe up to 50 miles per hour. We'll see that again early Friday morning. And then as we go throughout the day Friday, wind gusts in general, 30, 40 miles per hour. And it makes for some blustery conditions. Certainly on Friday, temperatures are dropping through the 30s into the 20s throughout the day. Wind chills will go from the 20s to teens likely throughout the day. And it'll be bitterly cold in that regard on Friday. outside of that, that's really one bitterly cold day. Even to look ahead next Wednesday, Thursday, of course, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and it's like it's adding insult to injury, really, isn't it? Going into next Thursday, it's still looking at the way these models have been trending around Christmas Day. I think there's a possibility that we'll spot some precipitation, but it's just too warm. And to add insult to injury, the fact that we could see some precipitation on Christmas Day, but it could be terms of rain. We can get some rain showers into Christmas Day, and that's just it's it doesn't scream Christmas, does it? Whenever we deal with some rain on Christmas Day, we want that to be snow, but unfortunately, this pattern, it's perfect. The whole first half of this month, screaming that more Christmas weather, and now we're getting the flip side of it. Second half of the month, again, while we're not going to get it likely into Christmas Day, maybe we can have better odds. Maybe we can get that flip of the switch in time for the new year. And if not, shortly after, we'll hold on to maybe we could sneak in at least a white New Year's Day, maybe. We'll hold on to a flip in the pattern by the time the New Year's Day arrives. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, Austin, good evening. Today was okay, but you can still feel the bitter cold air. A little upset to see the snow melting away, but hopefully we'll get more later on this winter. Oh yeah, we're not done yet for sure, Austin. This warmer pattern that we're seeing take hold again. It could even start to ease up by the new year, the very tail end of this month, but yeah, I don't think, we've got plenty more. Don't worry, Austin. We'll get some more snow coming our way, I'm sure. Just may have to wait till, closer to, if not into January, before we can get that cooler pattern to return. And yes, I'm sure we'll deal with some more snow chances coming our way. Kyle's asking, Nate, how long will ice that's about 2 to 3 inches take to melt off the lake with these temperatures? Is there a rate to what ice melts with temperatures? I'm sure there is, Kyle. Unfortunately, I to be honest, I don't know that off the top of my head about how long that would take 2 to 3 inches of ice to melt off the lake. I will look into that, Kyle. I can get back to you. I wish I could give you an answer right now. Sean, good evening from Las Vegas. Good evening there, Sean. Thank you for tuning in. Good evening there. Merry Christmas to you as well, Scott. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. And Diana, good evening from joining us from Mingo Junction. Well, good evening. Good evening to all of you. And Merry Christmas. Yes, like Scott says, hopefully everyone has some fun holiday plans coming up here later on this month. And I know I hate to be the bearer of bad news for pretty good odds for a green Christmas coming our way. And almost to the point where I think you can almost kind of guarantee it, but we won't guarantee it quite yet. We're still not quite a week away. We're a little out past that, but I just think that it's low odds, unfortunately, for us to get that white Christmas. We'd have to get that Christmas miracle, right? We'll hold on to that Christmas miracle going into Christmas Day, that we could sneak in some snow going into Christmas Day. Miranda, good evening and Merry Christmas. Good evening there, Miranda. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Nate at 8. Again, your 9+1 day forecast. More clouds than sun tomorrow, but we stay dry. Warming trend continues all the way in the 50s by Thursday. And I think we could spot some sunshine with those warmer temperatures, at least the first half of the day. I think most of Thursday, again, ends up dry. So, honestly, I mean, how long has it been since we've said, well, it's not a bad day to enjoy the outdoors. but yeah, no, come Thursday, honestly, it doesn't look to be too bad of a day to enjoy the outdoors. And I know 50s is typically pretty cool to us, but coming off of these very cold temperatures at the beginning of this week, it's going to feel borderline warm to us. And it's crazy to say 50s feel warm, but it's just a matter of what we've been accustomed to, right? And we've been dealing with some very cold temperatures since end of November, now through the first half of December, and we get back in the 50s, and it can start to feel warm to us. So mark it on the calendar, Thursday. Not a bad day to spend the time outdoors. Take a walk, enjoy the outdoors. Honestly, Thursday, probably not too bad of a day. It could be, a bit muddy, unfortunately. That's the other worst part about melting all this snow, and then it's just all mud, right? Ugh. Then it's just a muddy mess. So that's the only, muddy mess Thursday, but It will be nice otherwise outdoors. Come Friday, then that's the return of those bitterly cold wind chills. Again, windy conditions Friday with those snow showers. Don't see much when it comes to snow accumulation, more on just watch for some slick spots developing on roads. Temperatures are dropping from the 30s to the 20s from the morning and the afternoon. And that can, before crews have a chance to get out and treat roads, water on these roads can freeze during that process. So we can see some slick spots develop. Just something to watch for and be cautious for as we go throughout Friday. By the weekend, then overall looking quiet. Slight chance for a shower by Sunday, Saturday night into Sunday. I don't see much right now, but maybe sneaking in a shower second half of the weekend. Just overall looking dry. And then past that, really middle to end of next week, going towards Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, is when we can start to spot some more primarily rain showers as our temperatures are in the 40s likely during that stretch. We'll see temperatures. I could even end up trending a bit higher. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could up those highs even in the 50s on Christmas Day. Again, even worse news, I know. How about a mild, wet Christmas Day? But yeah, I think it could happen that we could have to trend those temperatures up even more. Mark saying, thanks for giving us better weather. You're welcome, Mark. Mark's loving the warmer weather. And yeah, it's a better weather in that regard, Mark. The warmer temperatures here remainder of this week outside of Friday and next week as well. Friday, Monday, the coolest days likely past what we had for today. Those are the coolest days coming up. A lot of 40s and again, even a 50-degree reading in there coming up this Thursday. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I appreciate you. Catch me coming up News 9 at 10 on Fox Eye News 9 tonight at 11. Our next edition of Nate at 8 is coming up next week. I will be off the rest of this week. Don't worry. I'll be right back. We'll bring up that next edition of Nate at 8 coming up next Monday. That's our next edition of Nate at 8. But up until then, make sure to stay tuned with the latest, especially with the rain and some of the snow. Those had temperatures dropping below freezing. And, there's still some things, to watch for as we go into Friday. So make sure to stay tuned with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Exline, Meteorologist Emma Keegan for the latest as we extend throughout the next few days as we go throughout the weekend. Until then, have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. I'll see all of you on the next edition of Nate at 8.